what's up everyone, and welcome to the first episode of In Silence with Faisal Alsager. It's a joy to be with you. I'm happy to be here. I hope you are too. Let's get right into it. Today I want to talk to you about love your life. Learn to love your life. It's so important to learn to love your life. Besides, it's your life. Nobody else is going to live it for you except yourself. But yet, how many of us go through our life dreading our life? How many of us hate our life? How many of us don't want to wake up in the morning because of our life? It seems like misery is widespread. It seems like misery is infectious and dominating over the population. It's so normal to hate your life. And yet it's not normal. It's completely unnatural. But we deal with it as if it was normal. How many people go through their days hating their days? Feeling like they're not days at all. It's all just nighttime. The days feel like they're nighttime. The nighttime feel like they're darker night times. But I want you to know that it's possible. It's so possible to love your life. It's not about getting somewhere or getting something or being someone, achieving things, having a relationship. It's not about those things at all. It's completely possible to be where you are right now and know that you can learn to love your life. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time before you learn to love your life, before you fall in love with your life again, before you wake up in the morning and be so happy to be alive, where you feel passionate about what you're doing, where you feel like your relationships are flourishing. It's so possible to love your life, no matter where you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what you do. It's possible to love your life. Now, I agree that there are situations that are horrific. There are unfair situations. You might be in an unfair situation right now. You might have a tragic circumstances. That might be the case. Whether because of war, because of poverty, because of whatever problems with your family, whatever it is, financial problems, whatever it is that you're facing, I want you to know that it's possible to love your life again. Besides, it's your life. It's you that has to learn how to love. I'm giving you the power right now because you do have the power. The power is within you. Now the problem is you have outsourced that power. You have externalized your power. You have gave up your power to other things in the world. You believe that your happiness will come from things in the world, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a success, some achievement, some career, lots of money, fame, power. But happiness won't come from none of that. Happiness starts with you and it ends with you. It comes from your heart. And that's why you need to learn to fall in love with life again. I'm not giving you an impossible task. All I'm asking you to do is look within you. For so long you've been conditioned. You've been conditioned to look outward and depend on the external world to provide you with happiness. But that has not worked out. And clearly that has not worked out for anyone. Because we shouldn't be pursuing happiness externally. Doesn't mean we shouldn't be doing things, shouldn't be having great relationships, great careers, great achievements, great whatever. It simply means that we shouldn't look for happiness in those things. When we are on the pursuit of happiness, we lose ourselves and we are actually ending up in misery. All pursuits of happiness end in misery. So this is what I want you to do. Realize that, number one, I'm going to stop pursuing happiness from the world. I'm gonna stop depending on the world for my happiness. Realize this, have this attitude. My happiness is gonna come from me all the time. I'm not depending on the external world to give me some type of happiness, whatever type of happiness that is. I'm not looking for pleasure. I'm not trying to avoid pain. I'm not dependent on something for happiness. I am independent and strong. And I will be happy. I will find that happiness from within me. That happiness will be created from within me. That should be your attitude towards your unhappy situations. Now, challenges in life doesn't mean that we're not going to be challenged by life. You may already be challenged by life in a very hard way. But you still have that power to approach life with a different attitude. You still have that power to love your life, to love where you are, to honor this miracle, this blessing called life that we all share today. The blessing that is this day, this night. It is something sacred, it is something priceless, and we have to return to that realization that this moment, every moment, this life is sacred, it's priceless, and you've been given this one life. Now, are you going to make the most out of it, or are you going to complain and be bitter? Are you going to have a great, strong, positive attitude and outlook on life, or are you going to be so negative and drained all the time? Depression is a choice. Happiness is a choice. Greed is a choice. Kindness is a choice. Hate is a choice. Love is a choice. Now you choose well. You choose well. You know what to choose. If you want your life, if you want to really love your life, then choose the good things. Well, obviously, we all want to choose the good things. Maybe there are people out there who don't want to choose the good things. But come to know that in order for you to live a good life, to really love your life, that all that goodness that you're looking for will come through you and has to come through you. It's not going to come from the external world. If it does, it's going to be so momentary and fleeting moments of happiness. But we don't want that. We want lasting happiness. We want to be so happy and in love with our lives, right? Well, that's where you come in. That's where your willpower comes in. That's where your attitude comes in. That's where your discipline comes in. That's where your focus comes in. That's where your power comes in. Learn to love your life. This is not going to happen overnight. It may take some time to unlearn the ways we have approached our life. You have been conditioned by the environment, by the people, places, things, and by your own habits to not love your life. You have been conditioned. It is a habit for you to be unhappy. And you must come to realize that. You must come to be aware of how you are, of your habits of unhappiness. The habits that cause unhappiness in you. You have to bring those things to the light of your awareness. That's the first step of falling in love with your life, of loving your life, learning to love your life. To be aware of the habits you have, the tendencies that bring you unhappiness, that make you say, I hate my life. Or make you say, I want to end my life. Or make you say that, compare yourself to others and say, their life is better, they have more happiness than me. But that's not true. The truth is, you don't know anything about anybody and their life. You only have a tiny perspective of their life. So quit comparing yourself to others and quit living out of the conditioning of your mind. Understand that love is a habit to be perfected, and it comes from you. Happiness is the same thing. It's a habit, it's a skill that you must learn and develop. by first unlearning the things that make you unhappy. First, you must unlearn the conditioning of hate, the hatred you have to your life, the despair, the misery, the sorrow, the moments of weakness, of depression, of anxiety, of anger, of fear. You must first unlearn all these deeply rooted habits and cut the root out by bringing it to awareness, and then make the choice to sow seeds of love, to sow seeds of joy, to sow seeds of kindness, of freedom, of happiness. First, you bring the bad habits into awareness that you have. You must unlearn how you are unhappy. You must unlearn the habits you have that make you unhappy, and then learn how to be happy. In other words, you must unlearn what makes you despise your life and then relearn how to love your life. First, you must bring to awareness what makes you think that your life is a misery, it's sorrow. Unlearn that approach, those attitudes that you have towards your life. By being aware of them, say these habits, this way of approaching my life, these thoughts, these behaviors are not rooted in me loving my life. They're rooted in ignorance. So bring that to the light and then say, well, I'm going to change this. I'm going to learn to love my life now. I'm going to sow seeds of love, sow seeds of happiness, sow seeds of joy, sow seeds of freedom. Get into the habit of loving your life. Like I said, it's not going to be easy, but not everybody's doing it because it's hard. And it's not going to be done overnight. It's going to take some time to unlearn so many deep-rooted habits. It's going to take some time to relearn how to love again, how to open yourself up one more time, how to break out of your shell, how to open your mind, open your heart. Let the light in and let it shine. When you learn to love your life, you will learn to love yourself. When you learn to love yourself, you can love everyone. And when you love everyone, you're a blessing. You're a blessing in this world. In fact, you are the light of this world, so act like it. I'm going to say that again. You are the light of the world. Act like it. You are the light of the world, but you don't act like it. This is not something that you take in arrogance or you give it to your ego. I'm the light of the world. Look at me. I don't mean it like that. I mean it without ego, without arrogance. You are the light of the world. But you don't act like it. You act like something less than. You've been habituated, you've been conditioned in such a way to act out of negativity, to act out of despair, to act out of hopelessness, to act out of doubt, to act out of lack, to act out of fear. Now it's time for you to change all that. It's time for you to act out of love, act out of kindness, act out of generosity, act out of integrity, act out of honesty, act out of faith, act out of hope. Imagine if all your actions and all your interactions come from a place of light, come from a place of wisdom, come from a place of love, of joy, of happiness, of peace, of freedom. I want you to know that's possible for you, for everybody. It's so completely possible. But you have to be the one that puts the work in. You have to be tired of being unhappy with your life. You have to be tired of being so stuck in depression or despair or sorrow. You have to be sick at the face of unkindness, of greed, and decide to make that change. Now, a good tip when you want to fall in love with your life again, which is what I want you to do, to learn to love your life again. A good tip for that is want what you already have and don't care for what you don't have. See, the problem is we're pursuing things. We want things. We want things that we don't have. And we end up in misery because we don't have those things. But the right attitude is, the right way to live is to want what you already have. Doesn't matter how little. Doesn't matter how much. Don't compare yourself to what others have. Simply want what you already have. Appreciate what you already have. Love what you already have. And you can do that by stopping to care for what you don't have. What you don't have is something you don't have. Maybe you'll have it one day, maybe you won't, but there's no guarantee it's going to bring you happiness. Lasting happiness. It might bring you some pleasure, but there's no guarantee it's going to bring you lasting happiness. So what you should do is stop caring for the things that you don't have. Start caring for the things that you already have. That's a great way to not only be happy, but really love your life. And this is the point I'm trying to bring home. Love your life. We all have a chance every single day we wake up to fall in love with this gift called life. To really love, and I don't mean love in a way that's attached to it. No, we're not trying to be attached. We're trying to be detached, unattached in our natural state. Because when we're detached, we're happier. But in love with life, appreciating it moment by moment, once you wake up, once you break the deep-rooted habits of fear, of hate, of despair, of misery, you will see that every moment is a blessing. And I'm not making this up. I moved from being so depressed. I moved from being so in despair and sorrow. I moved from all the negativity, being so absorbed in negativity. I moved to the other side of life. And I can tell you that the other side is amazing. You don't need much to love your life. You don't need to be so successful in the world. You don't need to have you don't need to have a perfect relationship to be happy. You don't need to have a perfect relationship to love your life. You don't need to have so much money, so much or fame or power. You don't need pleasures to really love your life. Wherever you are, I want you to know, whatever you're doing, whoever you are, I want you to know that your life is worth living the way it already is. Nobody's gonna live it except you. So you decide how you want to live it. I say bring your best self to the picture. Bring your best attitude. Bring your best habits. Bring your best thoughts. Bring your best emotions. Bring your best faith. Bring your best strength. Because only you are going to live this one life. With that said, thank you for listening. Love your life. Peace out.